Hello and welcome back to another reading of the White Album 2 light novel series. We are currently reading through Volume 1. Continuing on for this episode, basically what's happened is Kazusa and Haruki had their late night, overnight practice sessions, which in and of itself I think is fine, but they're keeping it a secret from Setsuna, which is not fine. It's quickly becoming very not fine. Now, Touma is suggesting that they all go sleep over her house for the weekend and try to get some good last-minute practice in. The problem is that everyone thinks Haruki's never been there before, which he has, and it's going to be very obvious, and that's going to create a lot of drama. So, before they're able to do that, they do need to convince Setsuna's family, and they're trying to get Haruki to do it. So, let's continue on. Hang on, I'm the one doing the talking? The two of them nodded as if it were obvious. I didn't imagine it would be easy getting permission for an overnight. And how was I, the one guy in the picture, supposed to convince anyone of anything? There was no way, I started to say, but I could tell from the way the two of them were looking at me that they were serious. Why on earth did they trust me this much? Well, all right. This was for the show too. I might as well try. We're all going over there tomorrow, then? Something had just struck me. Yes, we're finished rehearsing for today, which means it's time for you to go to Ogiso's house, Kitahara. Right now? Obviously. When will you go if not today? You went to ask them for permission before. There shouldn't be much of a problem. The problem was preparing myself mentally. Anyway, I'm heading home to sleep. Touma attempted a hasty departure. Hang on, you're coming too. How could one guy possibly have any persuasive power when it came to what was essentially a sleepover? Unbelievable. And so, even though there was some grumbling and foot dragging on Touma's part, the three of us headed for Ogiso's house together. Yeah, could you imagine the one single guy going over and being like, can she sleep over someone's house? Like, that just sounds so fake. I'm glad Touma's coming along. Whew. Well, that worked somehow. I still don't see why I had to go through that. The two of us were walking to the station from Ogiso's house as we had before. We had waited for Ogiso's father to come home, and in the meeting that ensued, we explained everything as thoroughly as we could. That this weekend was absolutely crucial to the success of the show, that all three of us would be available to contact at all times, and that I was a thoroughly harmless guy. Almost pathetically so. Haruki. At this point, very true. In addition, we got Touma's go-ahead for this. We came right out and said that Kazusa was, at present, the only person living in the Touma residence, because we determined that it would be more effective than making up an unwieldy lie and having to keep to it. Man, if only everyone took this advice every time and didn't make up lies, White Album 2 would be a lot shorter. Ogiso's father was unwilling to budge at first, but in the face of Ogiso's own strong stance, he finally yielded. That her mother politely took our side in the course of the discussion was also a big help. So, in any case, they had decided to trust me. I allowed myself to feel happy about that. Aww, they trusted you. That's so good. Too bad Takeya didn't come. Although maybe it's better that Takeya didn't come. Ogiso looked pretty surprised when she found out you had a studio at your house. And you did a nice job of acting surprised yourself, Kitahara. You'd better be oohing and ahhing tomorrow. God, though, Touma sighed. I still don't know how to handle that family. Huh, really? I can't comprehend it. I can't spend too much time in that place. Touma. See, here is not good. They're actually discussing and going over the lie. That's not good. This is premeditated lie. This is not just a spur-of-the-moment lie. I don't know which one's worse, but it's definitely still not good. I knew how she felt, but I could understand Ogiso's family too. I was glad that they hadn't asked me about my own family during the discussion. If they had, I wasn't sure I would have been able to be honest about it. My family used to be like that. Huh? If I missed curfew, Dad would get mad. Mom would get worked up in a panic. Any kind of event we experienced together, whether it was a fun thing or a sad thing. It was the kind of family that made it feel like you didn't need anywhere else to return to. There wasn't really any intention behind my talking about this. The words just spilled out. But I suppose I only thought that way because I was a child. Before I started middle school, my father left. Let me tell you, it wasn't great having to hear my parents arguing. I don't know if that's the reason, but my mother and I both decided we'd had enough of family. We're just strangers living in the same house now, getting our living expenses from Dad. We're completely apathetic to each other. So this is a little bit more, or a lot, I guess, a lot more detailed than the base game, which is neat. In the base game, Haruki's just like, yeah, my mom and I don't really care about each other. We don't really talk to each other. And that was really it. Here we get to hear a little bit more. And the fact that he hated hearing his parents arguing gives us a little bit more detail. It really fleshes out his home life a little bit more. And I really, really like that. Whether I was an honors student, whether I was class representative, whether I started a light music club, whether I stayed out until late at night, whether I'd slept over somewhere else, she didn't care about any of it. So there's part of me that has to wonder whether we would still be living like the Ogisos if the family hadn't fallen apart back then. If it hadn't fallen apart, Touma spoke up after a moment's silence. My family. What would you even call it? I guess it's been broken in some way or another since the start. As she told me that she didn't even know what her father looked like, her expression was impossible to read. Yoko Touma had married twice and divorced twice. Apparently, she had given birth to her daughter more than a year after her second divorce. The genius pianist of many affairs had caused her fair share of scandals while she was raising her young daughter. She doesn't even know what her father looks like. Oh, that's crazy. That's so sad. I'm not complaining about it, really. It's her life. She can do what she wants. Touma fell silent again. Anyone who was of a mind to look into it could probably learn that much. But hearing it all from Touma herself felt like a rare privilege. So I gently shifted the conversation. Oh, it's true. Her opening up and talking about probably the most painful things she's been through in her life at this point. That is a really rare thing. That is a really beautiful thing. You know, however twisted we might get, Ogiso's a good one, right? Yeah, that's exactly why I'm so stuck. The world she lives in is completely different from mine. Always has been, always will be. That's not true. We all have this music we share, right? What we have will last until the day of the show. If I do stay with Ogiso after that, we'll either be the best of friends or eternal enemies. Huh? Touma quickened her pace. Her white breaths dissipated in front of me. I couldn't see Touma's face when, after a few moments, she muttered, "It's cold out." Her black hair danced in the night wind. I spoke my response to it. "It's only going to get colder." Oh, what a line. We'll either be the best of friends or eternal enemies. That's super deep. Super, super deep. So, Moving on, we are here at the WA2 Light Novel, Volume 1, Session 14. 7 days until the show. Exactly 1 week left. Haruki's piece. Here? Really? What the hell? Man, being rich must be nice. When Saturday arrived, Ogiso and Takeya both spent a good while gaping at the exterior of the house, precisely as I had before. Well, it certainly did make an impression. As we moved from the front door to the basement, I did my best to act just as surprised as they did, while they remarked upon every little thing. "How can a normal family own stuff like this?" Takeya exclaimed, incredulous in the face of all the instruments lying around in the basement. I had said almost the same thing. "This is your rehearsal space, Touma-san? Wow." "The previous owner built it. I'm just using it." Whoa. Was the previous owner some kind of musician too? I wouldn't know. Now let's get set up. Right. "Haruki," Takeya whispered to me as I brought out my guitar. "We're really just commoners next to her, huh?" Yeah. I hadn't wanted to bring myself down by saying too much, but yeah, the house was pretty astounding. I hate watching people lie. This is like the worst. This is so awkward. Let's see. Gotta hook up the synths. Hey, is there an outlet somewhere? Oh yeah, under this shelf. Ow! The moment I tried to point Takeya to the outlet, Kazusa stomped on my foot. Oh, whoops. Sorry, Kitahara. No, it's fine. Wow, could you be so stupid? Like, if you're gonna make a lie, commit. You shouldn't have lied in the first place, but to have it revealed here would be very bad. What's with you two? Takeya's expression was dubious. Shoot, I had almost just blown the secret. Had to be more careful. Oh, what should I do with my coat? There's a hanger rack right over here. Gah! My bad, Kitahara. My bad. Ow. All right. Having finished playing, I clenched my fists. The three of us, plus one, had constructed a melody. That's so mean to say, the three of us plus one. I mean, White Album is always referencing the three of us. But right now, it's the four of us. Don't leave Takeya out like that. After allowing the final chord to resonate through the room for a few moments, I gave Takeya a look to ask how it had sounded. Damn, that was White Album all right. Better than you expected, Takeya? Yeah, I don't even think the god of the guitar would have expected you to get this good at it. Had I really been that fatally bad before? Yeah, that was perfect, Ogiso beamed. Touma-san, weren't the synths perfect too? The drums were good, but the sax needs some fixing. I'll handle that fine-tuning myself, but the bass sounds good too, so decent overall. Nicely done, Chief. Touma gave a small nod. Whoa, really? That was okay? Whew, I'm glad. All that key pecking paid off. She's actually gave him a genuine compliment. That's really nice. See, she knows when to be nice when she needs to be nice. You've done a lot of work, Izuka-kun. Thank you. Setsuna-chan. Man, I'm so glad to be alive. I turned down a whole lot of dates with girls to work on this, you know. I was finding it hard to give the guy any praise. But, oh my god, I just got a compliment from Kazusa Touma. I'm in her house. I'm behind the scenes. Ah. You say something, Chief? No. Apparently the nervous twitch hadn't quite left. We'll say we've got the first song finished now. Next, we have to decide on the second song and start rehearsing it today. We all nodded. I'd almost forgotten that this wasn't the end of it. It's so funny because they spent so much time working on just that one song, White Album, and it took them so long to get to this point. Now they only have 1 week left, and they're like, all right, time for song 2, one that Haruki's not practiced before, because Haruki kind of knew how to play White Album before. Now it's something totally new. I wish we could do 2 more, actually. Maybe if we had more than a week left. I feel the same, and I bet the other bands will also have 3 songs prepared, but we haven't even been working together for a month, so there's not much we can do. Touma was right. If we got too greedy, that would probably only invite errors. So, 1 more song. What do we do then? Any requests? Now that you've asked, I can't come up with anything. If it's anything with a really hard guitar part, Haruki's gonna cry. Shut up, Takeya. I didn't like how right he was. Oh, Setsuna suddenly spoke up. I just got an idea. Maybe? Her smile was that of someone who had just come across a hidden treasure. If our first song is White Album, then it hit me. Sound of Destiny? Correct, Kitahara-kun. Wow, how did you know that? Oh, I just had a feeling you might say that. Sound of Destiny. Another massive hit, released the same year as White Album. It was sung by a different female artist, but it was another favorite of mine. It didn't have the seasonal feeling of the snowy White Album, but it was a classic. Most people, old or young, male or female, whatever generation, would probably be aware of it. Well, just to put my own 2 cents in, why not? It's a good sounding song, and I like it a lot too. Really? That's great! Ogiso grinned at my agreement. Now, when it came to the other 2, Sound of Destiny? Wait, really? It wasn't an especially enthusiastic reaction. What, do you not like that song or something? No, I wouldn't say that, but Kitahara, are you sure about this? Why not? It's at a nice tempo, the mood is good, and everyone will have heard it. I figured it would be absolutely ideal for playing live. That's not the problem, Haruki. Have you been listening to me? What was this about? What were they trying to say? Oh, I'm sorry. Did I say something wrong? No, nothing wrong. Touma suddenly started laughing. What the hell? No, actually, there's nothing wrong with it at all. Like Kitahara said, it's a solid song. It's a vocalist's dream, in fact. Sure, let's do Sound of Destiny. You're being really weird. So if we've decided that, then let's... Haruki, well, it's not my hell to go through, but Takeya looked worried. Touma looked like she was about to crack up. Ogiso and I looked at them with heads tilted, in some confusion, until... The next moment, I remembered. Shit. Takeya shrugged and shook his head at my sudden comprehension. Sound of Destiny ended on a guitar solo. A very cool, very difficult, shredding guitar solo. No, never mind. I can't do that. And it's so funny that Touma just let him go along with it and let him dig his own grave for it. And Takeya too. Those 2 are a funny duo when they get put together like that. I was certain that no amount of work could get me to the point of playing that. But there was one person who disagreed. Let's do it, Kitahara-kun. I want to see you playing it. Hang on, Ogiso. You'll be fine. I know you'll be able to do it well. Oh, she's so kind. Ogiso gazed at me, grinning. Was she joking? If we can play that at the show, everyone will go crazy. You'll look so cool. I appreciate your confidence in me, but I can see myself turning into a complete laughingstock on stage. What's wrong with a few little mistakes? If we mess up, they'll laugh at all of us together. I don't think it would be just a few little mistakes. And given that this was a solo, I would be the only one they were laughing at. Nope, I want Sound of Destiny. You're going to play that guitar solo, Kitahara-kun. Ogiso's tone was cheerful, but clearly allowed me no choice in the matter. Wait, what? Had some kind of switch been flipped? She can be scary when she wants to be. I didn't know you were so pushy, Setsuna-chan. Wow, so this is the kind of girl you are. Even Takeya was thrown by this display of selfishness. Well, this was the true Ogiso, the way she was when she didn't polish herself up at all. But still. Kitahara-kun, you yourself said we've decided, remember? No takebacks. You can't be serious. Hey, Touma, will you say something, please? Touma took a moment to compose herself, shifting from her grin back to her usual expression, and turned to face Ogiso. Ogiso, are you serious about this? Yep, and I seriously think that Kitahara-kun can do it. Uh-huh. A small nod. Actually, I agree. There, she agreed with, huh? Yes, that means we're doing it. Aww. Having Touma agree, 1, you could think of it as a troll, or 2, you can think of it as she has confidence in Haruki at this point. She believes in him, and she's willing to help him get to that place where he needs to be. So, they're kind of nice. One is kind of teasing, one is true believing. Whoa. Hey, Touma, where's the strictness you always have with me? Where's your rationality? I have both. I'm speaking from those. You're kidding. I could never pull something like that off. At my level, I don't care whether you think you could or couldn't. You're doing it. Remember what you said when I joined the Light Music Club? You said you'd do whatever I told you. But this is impossible. Stop. Listen to me. Make the impossible possible. You will get yourself to the point of playing this. That is all. Touma clapped her hands together as though declaring the discussion over. That reminds me of the just do it discussion. It's pretty much her version of it. Now, let's get going. We've only got a week left, as you know. No, wait. That's right. We can do this, guys. To start, Ogiso, sing it through with me once. You know the lyrics? Of course. As the girls got into it, I sat stupefied. I mean, seriously? I couldn't see any remote possibility of making this happen. What were they thinking? Takeya set his hand on my shoulder and shook his head. Touma's piano began moments later, and eventually Ogiso added her voice. The harmony was beautiful, but at the same time, it came home to me that I had nowhere to run. That is so much work for everyone, not just Haruki. Because, you have to make the synths for this entire song, but especially Haruki because of that solo at the end. Alrighty then, I'll head home and start programming. Takeya, do you really think I can play this? I asked, as he slipped his shoes back on at the front door. Nah, no way. You'd better be ready for them to laugh. Yeah. But so what? Setsuna-chan said she'd be right there with you while they laughed, you lucky jerk. Granted, I'll just be messing with the synths off to the side of the stage during the show, so no one's gonna laugh at me. But anyway. This punk. The leader of our club, everyone. Takeya's got a good point. If the show goes really well, he still probably won't get much recognition for it. But if it goes badly, he's probably not going to catch flack for it either. Because the synths are the synths. He knows they're good before the show. Anyone can mess up doing it live, so he's pretty safe. Honestly, it's no big deal to me how it turns out. I may technically be the leader, but you're the one who made the Light Music Club what it is now, Haruki. You've made it this far. You can do what you want. He smiled, reminding me that he would be handling things behind the scenes. I was thinking while I listened to you play today, this is going to turn into an excellent show. Seriously. It'll be a lot better than it would have been when I was playing the guitar. So go for it. Run with it. Takeya. Yeah, I will. My life in high school for the past 3 years had been nothing special. Excellent grades, perfect attendance, this year's class representative. My days had been diligent, perfectly normal, and boring. So at the very least, I wanted to have something to remember right before I graduated. I wanted to put everything I had into it, even if people laughed at me for it. This is such a big shift in Haruki's mindset. This is such a big thing for his character. Because he was, especially in the game version, I feel like is the worst. He is such a busybody. He is so nosy. He is so pushy. He's in everyone's business. And he's like the honor student. And now he's pushed a lot of that other stuff aside. He's not doing favors for everyone anymore. He is focused on his music club and he wants to do a performance, which is so silly. There's no point to it. It's not going to get him into a better university. It's not going to get him better grades. But he's doing it anyway, and that's a big thing for Haruki. Don't let yourself lose heart. This is your first and last chance. The chance of a lifetime for Haruki Kitahara. I wouldn't call this the chance of a lifetime. Why not? I mean, your life has been wild ever since you managed to pull Setsuna-chan into this. You're using up all of the good luck you've been given for the rest of your life, right now. And Touma too? God, what the hell? It wasn't luck that got those two to join the Light Music Club. It was my begging them to do it. Well, it helps that they both like music. I guess that was lucky. And look at you. I feel sorry for those two. Their luck is terrible. Not to mention their taste. Huh? What? Nope. Not telling. You'd have to kill me first. Anyway, Oh, right. Anyone else can see it. Anyone removed from the situation can clearly tell what's going on. Just as he was heading out the door, Takeya turned. What are you gonna do about, that? Why are you bringing that up now? It came back to me while I was programming. Sorry, it genuinely completely slipped my mind. I figured as much. I'm really sorry. With the club breaking up, I completely forgot. Isn't that the reason you put up with Touma being on vocals for so long? Doesn't matter now, though. We only have a week. I mean, since we've got Ogiso instead of Yanagihara now, if I could pull it off, it would be amazing. But we don't have the time regardless. I guess. Still, man, I'm sorry. I know you really wanted to do it. It's fine. Go and take care of that programming chief. All right. I really should have done something about it, and I'm sorry. See you. Takeya gave me a wave and left. It's fine, I muttered to myself in the deserted entryway. It's fine. I had already been blessed enough. Asking for more would be too greedy. I returned to the basement, trying to get that through my own head, unable to entirely shake off a certain feeling of disappointment. And this is some nice foreshadowing with something that will come up later on in the novel, so I won't go ahead and spoil it here. But it's nice that they set that up already. The game didn't really hint at it too much, but here we're like, oh, what's going on? Haruki and Takeya. What was that about Touma? It lets us start digesting it before we've even really got to experience it. Kind of nice. As probably goes without saying, the guitar is present throughout the whole Sound of Destiny, not just for the solo. That being the case, while Touma and Ogiso were doing their intensive practice, I decided to focus on practicing everything that came before the solo on my own. So as not to disrupt them, I slipped on my headphones and moved to a corner of the room to start my picking. He's really working as hard as he can. I'm very proud of Haruki. Especially because at first Touma was like, no, you have to practice on your own. Now he's like, yeah, I should probably practice on my own. He kind of drilled it into his own head at that point. So we will stop off there for today and pick up next time. Thank you so much for joining me on this part of the reading of the White Album 2 Light Novel Series Volume 1, and I'll be back to you with the next part shortly. So until then, I hope you take care. See you!